started playing piano when I was in first grade and took private lessons for 6 or 7 years. And then in fourth grade started playing saxophone and kind of switched to that primarily for 8 or so years and in private lessons, and then went to a performing arts high school and continued learning a lot there and playing in like 4 or 5 groups. And then since graduating high school, I've just kind of played on my own and with friends.
So why did you choose not to go to Eastman or audition to go to Eastman?
I think Eastman kind of seemed like a natural next step after being so heavily involved in music, and especially with concentrating so much on saxophone and being involved in the Eastman scene before college and all throughout middle school and high school. And then it hit a point where I realized that what I wanted to get out of music school wasn't something that I would get, and that it seemed very small and very kind of closed off, and that there's so much I hadn't yet experienced and opportunities I hadn't looked into, and that I wouldn't get that by going to a music conservatory that focuses on making you the best at something, and that you'd spend all your free time in a practice room, and I'd rather spend it meeting people and learning other fields and always keep music a part of my life, but not the only part of my life.
So, what is your opinion of music and music opportunities on the River campus?
I think that at U of R there's a lot of interest in music, and I think that the music department does a good job in some respects, but I think that what it really comes down to is that the study of music can happen in whatever way it can, but what it's there for is to be played and to be like shared and experienced with everyone else. So the problems come when the music department tries to put together ways for people to perform, and they all seem to be falling short of getting a large turnout of and like cultivation of the people that do have the want and interest to play and aren't for whatever reason, and focusing on why that's not happening and finding a way to change the way they're reaching out to the student body to get more people to be involved and to play.
And can you describe your involvement in music since you left high school and how you plan to continue?
Since I left high school, I stopped taking a kind of performance-focused approach on music and more on a just kind of shared experience with the people I was with. So I stopped playing saxophone as much, which is kind of, you can only really perform saxophone. You can't really play with a bunch of people unless you have a specific setup of, like a drums and like a jazz setup or an ensemble setup. So I started playing a lot more like guitar and ukulele and like singing with other people, because that's something that you can get a lot of other people involved with, and that more people can like enjoy than you just standing in front of someone and playing for them.
If you were to go back in time, would you do the same thing?
Absolutely. I think I would have been pretty unhappy at a music school, because I feel like I've gotten so much out of changing the way I do things since I have come here, and I think I would have been kind of miserable being so focused on something and thinking it was that only doing one thing that you're interested in is the way to be